My name is Alfred Pennyworth. I have been in the employ of the Wayne family nearly all of my adult life. I have told this story to no one until now. Dr. Thomas and Martha Wayne were good people. Many considered them the first family of Gotham City. If they had one indulgence, it would be for their son, Master Bruce, something I have come to understand and emulate. I cannot imagine the man young Bruce might have become had his childhood not been ripped from him at gunpoint. Suddenly orphaned and alone, a chilling event took place. There would be no grieving for this child. No time would be lost wishing he could change these events. There would only be the promise. That very night, on the street stained with his mother and father's blood, he would make a vow to rid the city of the evil that had taken their lives. It was, at best, a fool's errand, or so I told myself. Using his family's wealth, Master Bruce sought out the world's greatest minds in criminology, martial arts, and the craft of detecting. He knew that criminals are, by nature, a cowardly and superstitious lot. In turn, he donned a cape and cowl and became a creature of the night, preying on those who broke the law. They now call him the Batman. But I will always see him as that little boy, lost, struggling to find a way to make up for not being able to save his parents' lives. And I can only offer him something I fear he sorely lacks: love.
Gotham City shipyard, almost midnight. I have 1 minute and 13 seconds left. After that, no time to pick the lock. The acid is faster, but unpredictable. Had to risk it. If I don't find the hostage before he gets back. The FBI and DEO cut the power. That will either make my job harder or easier. I'll know in the next few seconds. This is NN. I've got movement down here. Nails Nathan, former CIA op, right-handed. The poison in the tips will paralyze his hand, arm, then go to work on his head. Tommy Harper, gunrunner for the IRA, has a metal plate in his skull, making him susceptible to vertigo when hit in the correct spot with anything magnetic. Carlos Valdez, Chilean mercenary, likes to fight in close since his size makes him slow. Spider Hancock, Gotham City muscle, broke 2 of his ribs 3 nights ago. They won't heal anytime soon. I have to make it clear to Hancock that I do not have time for a long discussion. Where is the boy?
I swear, I don't know.
You're lying.
No. No!
Fear is an excellent motivator. Someone spent a lot of money assembling this crew. Stay down on the floor and cover your ears. But, as Bruce Wayne will attest, you have to spend money to make money. I'm going to get you out of here.
You're Batman.
Yes. 37 seconds left. The boy is trembling. Not that much older than I was when... He's probably just as terrified of me as he is of what's happening. It makes me think about Clark and how he'd handle the situation. Not just the bending steel and flying out. Clark could smile, that Boy Scout thing, and then say something homespun to put the boy at ease. But the boy doesn't have Clark. He has me, in my city, Gotham City. It is better that way.
Look out!
None of this was the boy's fault. He didn't ask to be born Edward Lamont IV, heir to the Lamont Chemical fortune. Lamont Chemical being the LexCorp acquisition that created RC-60, a defoliate that makes napalm look like lipstick. Edward was walking home from school 2 days ago when a large man in a raincoat snatched him off the streets and vanished. The large man was Killer Croc. You shouldn't have come here. This doesn't involve you. The vanishing hack involved the Gotham City sewer system. Within 6 hours, a demand for $10 million was made. The Lamont family, the mayor, the GCPD, and even the FBI all wanted to pay the ransom to get the boy back. Everyone but me. While Croc sent them all on a wild goose chase, he picked up the money and I went after the hostage. I need that money! I thought I had 2 minutes before Croc would get back and find the boy was missing. I was off by 11 seconds. I'm gonna eat you alive! This was planned, timed, well executed. The real question is, why? Kidnapping was never Croc's MO. Too many variables, too many things that could go wrong. Bottom line, he's not that smart. Someone else had a hand in all this. Your bones will snap. Your blood will fill my belly. More than just his MO has changed. His body, maybe his mind, has mutated. As if he were more savage than human. That doesn't mean I'm going to let him beat the pulp out of me. What Croc has in strength and speed, he lacks in other areas. And a vulnerability to hypersonics. 10,000 bumblebees at 1,000 decibels. He was willing to kill me and the boy, for certain. What did he need the money for?
Yeah!
Edward, be quiet. I never was a Boy Scout.
FBI, stay where you are. Not how we would have handled it.
This is my city.
Easy, son. We're going to take you home now. But I want to stay with Batman. Let me finish, but you got results. The boy is safe, and the money. Where the hell is the money? Activating heat sensor.
During the fight, someone else took it.
That's impossible. No one could have gotten through our perimeter.
I did.
Where's he going now?
And she could have easily.
She?
Catwoman.
What took you so long?
This, too, is unexpected. You're back in Gotham City.
And you're as observant as ever.
Jewels, museum pieces, private homes, but ripping off someone else's take just isn't her style. I have known Catwoman, Selina Kyle, for years. It seems like each step we take toward each other, we only get further apart.
Like the view, it's about the only thing you're going to catch tonight.
Don't be so sure. Of late, she had been trying to make a go of it on the right side of the law. For her to come out here, on my ground, there is something wrong about all of this. The bat rope. Someone cut the line.
You were saying... Batman?
One chance. My shoulder breaks. First, my body betrays me. Then, my city follows suit. We have both grown too old together.
Well, well, well. Look what fell into hell.
The Gotham Tower apartments, the city's finer side.
Any problems? Batman. And? He couldn't keep up. You sound disappointed. Would that matter? Not really, as long as you have the money. How would you say it? Perfect. Now, bring me the money. That's it. You know you can't resist me. No man or woman can.
I can't respond.
Can you hear me?
Oracle is in my head and on the secure line, and I can't respond.
Okay, people, we've got a situation.
You think he's dead? I saw him fall out of the sky like one of them pigeons with a busted wing. I hear he ain't even human.
What do you mean ain't human?
He's bleeding.
How do you know it's human blood?
I've managed to press the alarm signal on the utility belt to alert her.
The Blackbird is down. I repeat, the Blackbird is down.
I got a way to tell if he's human or not. If only I could tell her. Barbara, it's Crime Alley.
He's in the North End. Anybody in the area?
Let's take off his mask. Did you see that? Did you see that? He didn't even touch him. That's it. I'm gonna bust him up. Oh, can't see. Eyes. Damn, he electrocuted the man.
This is H. I'm in the area.
Get out of the way. There's only one way to deal with a freak like this.
Okay, is there anyone else in the area? Thanks for the vote of confidence, O.
I can smell the gun oil, but I can't make my arms work. Human or not, he dies now.
No, H. I only meant in case you needed backup. Shut up, O. I know what you meant.
Who the...
I'm here. Step away while you still can.
Huntress. Batgirl.
Oh, you're trying to tick me off. Tell everyone. Huntress did this to you.
Witch, come on our turf. Die on our turf. After all we've been through, she still fights for my life.
Damn you. Not going down. Not in front of you.
Gonna take this pole of yours and break you.
No!
So much rage. Not sure I ever saw it before. She's better than she shows.
I'll take that back now.
But waste too much energy proving it.
Now, bring it on. Oh, we're clear, but I'm not sure if he can move.
So much like I was when I started out. No wonder the others haven't accepted her. Have to speak to Dick about...
Where the hell did you come from? H, I've set the car on auto relay. It should be there any minute, no kidding. Hey, oh, he's hurt pretty bad. Get him in the car. He feels all broken. Is there anything else I can do? H, I'm sure when he can, he'll want to thank you himself. This is me holding my breath. Without friends, no one would choose to live, though he had all other goods.
Later.
Can we get some light in here? Plants like the light.
Is that my half?
Yes.
And Catwoman?
Not a problem. Batman, however, will... Hello?
Somehow, I am back in the cave. I can hear Alfred. The bandages are cold.
I'm afraid, Master Bruce, that if you can hear me, there is far too much damage for my particular skills. Your skull is fractured, and... Alfred, I've contacted Chandra Kinsolving. Her experience with mending Bruce's back may prove beneficial. Begging your pardon, miss, but I believe Dr. Kinsolving is not quite right in the head. She got better. Right, very good then. We'll have to make the necessary arrangements to explain Master Bruce's condition. I can have Dick wreck the Porsche, the rest is up to you. Actually, no. What do you mean? It is, as always, his fight to win. Hold on, I'm getting some sort of involuntary nerve response from his left hand. Or perhaps not involuntary. Alfred, is that Morse code? Yes. Yes, I believe it is. Thomas? Oh dear, he's delirious, recollecting his own father. No, I'm mistaken. Thomas Elliot. Yes, good show, sir. Splendid idea. Alfred, who is Thomas Elliot? Someone whose name I have not heard in a very long time.
Alfred, if I could smile.
Wayne was rushed to Gotham City Hospital, where, ironically, his own father held residency. It is unknown at this time if the millionaire was wearing a seatbelt, or what, if any, his blood alcohol count was. Dr. Thomas Elliot, the renowned surgeon, is being flown in from Philadelphia. Must be nice to have friends in high places. And when we're dealing with Bruce Wayne, few come higher.
In the fog of anesthesia, I remember one particular Halloween. My father had promised to take me trick-or-treating, and, as usual, was held up at the hospital.
In a related story, shares of Wayne Tech tumbled today in reaction to the accident. His pulse is dropping. Does anyone know where Dr. Elliot is?
My mother, always well-meaning, suggested I call a classmate and go out with one of them instead. Angry, I told her I had no friends at school.
Why does everyone look so serious? This is just brain surgery, folks. I'll have us back out on the golf course before lunch. Bruce, if you wanted to get together after all this time, you didn't have to try to kill yourself to do it.
I lied to my mother. There was always Tommy Elliot.
You sure you want to do that? I know what you're doing, Tommy. You want to make me second-guess my move. Actually, I'm offering to save your life. Just try and kill me. Bruce, you're already dead. How can you tell? You haven't even moved yet. It won't happen on the next move. It is 6 moves from now. You forgot your most important piece, Bruce. I've got my general guarded. Not your general, your spy. You always do this, Bruce. You always attack without knowing your opponent's weaknesses. As long as you can't think like me, you'll never beat me. But I can always think like you. Ah, you got me! Come on, let's play again. Don't you think it's wonderful how they never really argue? It's like they're brothers. All the brothers I've known argue all the time, Martha. You know what I mean, Thomas. Actually, this is one of those few times that I do. Barring some sort of unforeseen disaster, I think our son has finally found a best friend, the kind you know your entire life. Doctor, I think you can handle it from here. Why don't you close? Well, I don't know if Mr. Wayne will ever play the violin again. But I think it's safe to say that
we make war. I barely survived the fall. Had it not been for Tommy, had it not been for Alfred, had it not been for Huntress, had it not been for Oracle, had it not been that someone cut the bat rope, that we may live in peace. His name is Killer Croc. Go to hell! He is being held here in Arkham Asylum for observation. What did you want the 10 million for? Something has happened to him. He is mutating, losing even more of his humanity. Let me out and I'll show you. We're done. Don't turn your back on me. Soon, whatever knowledge he has of the crime will be lost within the corridors of his mind. Someone planned the kidnapping of a little boy for this monster. Croc would never have done it on his own. Too many variables to go wrong. I'm talking to you! He's becoming agitated. I would douse him if I were you.
Love to.
The ransom was paid. All $10 million. That money was mine! Batman! There was no doubt in my mind that Croc would have killed the boy, even though he had the money. That was more his style. Which is why I got there first. I rescued the boy, but someone else at the scene snatched the money from Croc. Batman!
Croc, step away from the glass. He's loose!
I'll kill all of you! I need to know who orchestrated the kidnapping. No, you won't hurt anyone else. Taught my enemy new methods. Too slow. And what happened to the money? Leaving me to send a monster to catch a monster. Get back, or I'll get him. I'm getting out of here. Get my money back.
All units, get some help down here.
Go ahead. Follow me. I haven't eaten since lunch.
I don't like this.
I don't like you. No one's seriously injured. The guards will get double hazard pay. And Croc has escaped. So far, so good.
That's all right. I'm not here to be liked. I don't need to remind you that the father of the boy that Beast kidnapped is a personal friend of the president.
Amanda Waller heads up President Luthor's Office of Metahuman Affairs. I have history with Waller. None of it pleasant. That's all right. I'm not here to be liked either. Dealing with anything remotely connected to Luthor makes my skin crawl. But Croc was about to be transferred out of my city. You mean he's a major contributor to Luthor's campaign party?
You've got until midnight. Then Croc is ours. Master Bruce.
Go ahead, Alfred.
A car just pulled up to the house. Are we expecting company?
No.
Philadelphia license plate HMX19... I can't make out the last number in this storm.
I have until midnight. Wayne Manor, what was once my father's house, is now mine, along with all the memories that it holds. Oracle.
I'm here. Even off a partial plate, Philadelphia DMV shows the owner to be Dr. Thomas Elliot.
That's unexpected.
You sure I can't entice you to come home, sir? After all, Dr. Elliot only saved your life.
I would if I could, Alfred.
I believe that's I could if I would in your case, sir.
Just make the usual excuse, please.
Consider it done, sir. Good Tommy.
Hello, Alf.
I apologize, sir, for the informality. You are Dr. Thomas Elliot these days, aren't you?
No need to apologize, Alf. I'm delighted that despite a few years and a few pounds, you still recognize me.
Well, sir, I have the advantage of seeing Master Bruce put on those same few years and few pounds, as you put it. I, had forgotten your delightful penchant for calling me Alf, oddly enough.
Glad to see you've kept that dry sense of humor. Speaking of dry, aren't you going to invite me in? I'd like to check up on my patient.
Of course, only Master Bruce isn't at home right now.
Nothing serious, I hope?
Quite the opposite, I'm afraid. Going off in search of a lady, I believe he said.
Oh. Alf, as his surgeon and an old friend, tell him something for me. This is a dangerous game he is playing.
Sir?
This going out and about when he should be in bed, alone. Dangerous.
I will tell him,
Tommy. Tommy Elliot, on a night just like this.
Master Elliot, what brings you out here at this hour?
Alf, can I talk to Bruce? What are you doing out there in the rain, you knucklehead? There's been an accident. My mom and dad, their car.
Gotham City Hospital. My father was head of trauma surgery back then. Hospitals are awful places at night, especially for children.
My dad is in there, Tommy. Nothing bad is going to happen.
I tried to warn Mr. Elliot. Night like this, the roads get slippery. I should have been driving them, but he insisted on going out alone with the missus. You mustn't blame yourself, Clarence. Accidents will happen, and given the situation, they could not be in better hands.
You swear? Stick a needle in my eye. Thanks, Bruce.
Tommy, come here, son. Your mom is going to be just fine.
See? I told you. And my dad?
I'm sorry. I did everything in my power.
No, he's not gone. I'm going in there to see him. Tommy, my dad said he did everything. Liar! You promised! You swore! How? What did you do that for?
Bruce, be quiet.
Why'd you have to tell me it was going to be okay, Bruce? Why?
Almost midnight. Croc has been on the move all night, using the sewers to crisscross the city.
Has it occurred to you that he's leading you on a wild goose or crocodile chase?
A homing device the size of a hat pin was jammed between his fifth and sixth vertebrae the night he was taken to Arkham. Oracle has been tracking his signal. He wants that money, Oracle. He will either lead us to it, or to the person who arranged this entire...
Batman, I'm not getting... Can you hear me? Answer me, damn it.
Oracle.
Are you all right? What the hell is going on out there?
Oracle, whatever you do, do not lose the homing signal on Croc.
You didn't answer my questions.
Just don't lose that signal. The Batmobile's outfitted with Kevlar reinforced tires filled with petroleum jelly. It is the sort of tire they use in a presidential arcade or an armored car. A blowout is next to impossible. Someone went to a lot of trouble to get me to lose track of Croc. Hello, kitty. They are going to be disappointed. I want my money.
You and me both. It was Poison Ivy.
Wrong answer. Ivy got word to me in Arkham. Said I'd find you here tonight.
We've been set up. Ivy was supposed to meet me here. She used me to steal the money. I don't have it.
Then there's no reason not to kill you. I've heard enough. No! I told you earlier this evening, you won't hurt anyone else. Catwoman, move! It was Catwoman who took the money from Croc at the ransom drop. I was disappointed to find out Selina was stealing again, and am now oddly relieved to learn she was not entirely responsible for her actions. To know she is not part of this. It's after midnight. You have to understand. The only way out of this is to talk to me. Someone is playing us. You, me, Catwoman, maybe even Ivy. You have to trust me, Croc. Look at me. Look at what I've become. That money was to fix.
Killer Croc, this is the FBI. Stay where you are and put your hands in the air.
Idiots. Liar. I knew I couldn't trust you. I'll kill you for this.
Croc, we can still...
Damn it. I'll kill all of you.
Lighthouse, this is Cruise Ship 1. Package is being wrapped. Ready for delivery.
Waller.
All men by nature desire knowledge.
I spend the next 6 nights looking for any clues to further my investigation. Wherever they've stashed Croc, I can't find him. For now. I keep thinking about the look in his eye just before they took him. How the monster had overcome him.
Batman. I found Poison Ivy. My sources tell me she's relocated. She's in Metropolis. I want in on this. Listen, You saved my life. Through the years, you've done that more than once. I don't think I've ever properly thanked you.
Don't.
We've done this dance for a long time. Too long. Aren't you at all curious?
Criminals, by nature, are a cowardly and superstitious lot. To instill fear into their hearts, I became a bat, a monster in the night, And in doing so, have I become the very thing that all monsters become. Alone. Metropolis, it is very different from Gotham City, and for that alone, I try to avoid coming here. There are not many reasons for Batman to be in this city, but no one will raise an eyebrow when Bruce Wayne comes to town. Trying to stay focused, not to think about Selina. The last time I remember actually wanting to be here was years ago. I have business interests here that I can pretend to look after. I'll stop by the Daily Planet. It's always good to see Lois.
Bruce Wayne.
I kissed her.
Bruce, it is you. I've been yelling like a fool halfway across the airport.
I'm sorry, Tommy. My mind must have been... I was just thinking about you.
Uh-huh. More like you were thinking about skirts, if half of what your reputation is true.
Well, Tommy, Dr. Thomas Elliot, the surgeon who saved my life and my childhood friend. My father had a medical convention to attend. My mother thought we'd spend some time together. My father brought Alfred. I brought Tommy.
You boys stay right here while Alfred and I go register. Right here. Do you understand?
You got it, Doc. Yes, sir.
Tommy spoke to my father in a way that no one else dared, but that was Tommy. Do you remember the time when my father brought us here?
Say, you really were thinking about me after all. Be a sport and let's ride in together, unless you're meeting someone.
Selina.
Easy, boy. You play your cards right, and there will be plenty more where that came from. So, I'll see you in Metropolis.
Did you ever tell anyone?
What we saw? Not a soul. Stick a needle, Bruce.
Bruce? Look up in the sky. Where?
It was one of the most extraordinary things I had ever seen in my life.
There! It's Green Lantern! What's he doing in Metropolis? I heard he was from Gotham City. Have you ever seen him in Gotham City? I've never seen anybody. I think he went up there. Tommy, my dad said wait by the... My dad said. Is that how you're gonna live your whole life, Bruce? You gotta promise not to tell. Stick a needle, Bruce. Hurry. Whoa. That bad guy is the icicle. He'll never win. How do you know that? It's like I'm always telling you, Bruce. You gotta be able to think like your opponent. Where'd they go? Down the block, come on. No, we should head back.
Alfred, bring my medical bag up to the... Where are the boys? I believe that's them coming this way now, sir.
What did I tell you?
To wait by the car, but we were just...
We're not in Gotham City, Bruce. I'm not only responsible for you, but for your friend as well. And since neither one of you can be trusted, you'll spend the rest of the weekend in your hotel room.
We never left the room the entire time we were in Metropolis. We stayed perched by the window, hoping to get a glimpse of another hero, but none came. Soon after that, my parents were killed, and I hardly saw Tommy again.
Things change.
If we're talking about Metropolis, it actually happened here overnight.
Cities are meant to rise and fall, Bruce. I was referring to people.
Anyone in particular?
I'm sure that Alfred, told you I came by the house.
And I was sorry to have missed you. Money never sleeps, Tommy.
Money isn't my patient. You have a fractured skull, Bruce. I took a bone chip out of your brain. I'm grateful. I'm not interested in your gratitude. My only interest is in your health.
I take good care of myself.
I don't doubt that, but I'm not sure you've given yourself adequate time to heal. You're not Superman, you know.
Catwoman, don't go.
Just because I let you kiss me doesn't mean you get to treat me like your toy wonder.
Take this.
It's not your high school ring or anything, is it?
Metropolis is a big city. If you find poison ivy first, activate that by pressing it.
So, I call, you come. You can't train a cat to do that. Oh, and if I find Ivy first, you're going to have to wait your turn. I hope she's worth it.
What? Who?
The girl. I assume it's a girl. Don't be so coy, Bruce. I know my conversation wasn't all that scintillating. But I'd know that faraway look anywhere. I've seen it on my own face a few times.
Then, I hate to disappoint you, but I was thinking about work.
Uh-huh.
You're sure my driver can't drop you someplace?
As much as I'd like this fine young woman to take me anywhere, it's just a few blocks, and I'd be a bit of a hypocrite if I didn't say I could use the exercise. There is something you could do for me, however. You still have those antique war game pieces?
I do, actually.
And I have mine. Up for a game?
You're on.
And I want you to actually show up for an appointment with me to check on how you're doing.
That's two somethings you want me to do for you.
It is, isn't it?
Things change. Never more so than with what is happening. With what could happen with Selina.
How many P's in therapist? 1, Lois. Thanks, Smallville. Hey, look at that. If you put a space in therapist, you get the rapist. That's kind of clever. Kind of. Clark, give me just a few more seconds and we can grab some dinner.
I knew putting a florist in the lobby of this building was a good idea.
Who?
How's my favorite gal reporter?
Bruce!
Lois, I'm not sure that PDA is the most appropriate form of behavior with the owner of the Daily Planet.
PDA?
Public display of affection. You can take the boy out of Kansas, Bruce, but...
Lois and Clark, he made the choice to be honest with her, to share both sides of his life. Could I find that trust in? Mind if I log onto your computer, Lois? Stock tip.
Anything you need, Bruce. Clark, dinner is going to have to wait. I understand.
Oh.
Metropolis?
Secure this line.
Done.
News on Aztec Gilead.
Requires ethylene.
Fairly common.
Not the way they make it at LexCorp. They've re-engineered it to withstand changes in temperature. Perfect if you're on the move. Before you ask, it'll take time. LC not the easiest to hack into.
Don't. I have another door. Gotta go.
If I had read all that, would I have been jealous or rich?
Neither. You'd have been bored to tears.
No, seriously, Bruce. Other than my sparkling personality, what brings you to...
Bruce! Lucius warned me you might be dropping in. Buy you a drink?
That depends. Have you run my newspaper into the ground yet?
Not for lack of trying.
Perry White is too good a reporter not to have uncovered Clark's secret. And yet, he acts otherwise, reminding me how good a detective Jim Gordon is back in Gotham City. Maybe Clark and I both have people in our lives we could trust more than we admit.
Of course, I have a highly paid top reporter who seems to think that a newsroom is where news is going to be found.
Hey, you'll have that therapist-rapist story with 1 P on your desk before you get back. Great to see you too, Perry. Well, so much for flirting with the billionaire playboy to find out what he's really doing here. I hope I didn't make you too jealous, Mr. Kent. As long as I'm the one going home with you, Mrs. Kent, flirt away. Still, the roses were a nice touch. I think there's only one way we're going to find out what Bruce is up to. Have fun being all tights and flights, and remember, despite how he behaves when he's, that you two are friends. Right.
I had thought about alerting Clark before we arrived. This is his city. But having Selina with me, the reporter in him, combined with his unflagging sense of right and wrong, I'm not sure he'd understand, and I'm sure I don't want to explain it. The LexCorp Towers.
You could come to Metropolis more often.
This isn't a social visit.
Is it ever?
LexCorp was formerly owned and operated by Lex Luthor, now the President of the United States. Currently, Talia Head, the estranged daughter of the megalomaniac Ra's al Ghul, was handed the reins when Luthor took the oath of office and was forced to divest himself of any conflict of interest. Not surprisingly, LexCorp remains one of the nation's largest weapon suppliers. Talia, Ra's, Luthor. Calling them a nest of vipers is an insult to vipers.
What does the detective want from me now?
This company makes a chemical called ethylene.
Yes, it's a plant hormone. Raising Aztec Gilia, are we? Is that surprise I saw flash in your eyes? I never was just a pretty face.
Talia, if someone in this city has acquired large doses of ethylene, I have to know.
You're vibrating.
I'm needed elsewhere. My past relationship with Talia was complicated. I think of Selina and the matter at hand.
There is something different about you. I am not sure I like it, but I will get the information you seek. Does it ever get dark in this city? Even at night it's lit up like it's important or something. Your pager homing device thing works, obviously. I interrupted something, didn't I? Not many women can wear Chanel No. 5 and make it work. Sorry, that was catty.
I know where Ivy is.
So do I.
You said
that I wanted to get to her first. I still do, but I wanted you to know why. Ivy took control of my mind. She made me do things I may have been prone to, but that's my decision. No one gets to violate me like that. Understood? Well, now that we're clear on that, I'll meet you there.
I kissed her. Catwoman. In Gotham City, Killer Croc led me to a penthouse where he believed Poison Ivy would be. The plants I found there were Aztec Gilia. They are, at best, difficult to grow in an indoor environment. Ivy could no more abandon them than a mother could her child, taking them with her to Metropolis.
I've come back to you. Have you? It's like you said, no one can resist you. Yes. But I can always tell when someone is pretending. That was the last time you will ever lay a hand on me. It doesn't have to be like this. There's money, so much money that not interested, but I have been curious. Do you bleed green? And curiosity killed the you-know-what. The plants don't like it when you touch their mother, witch. There.
Ivy, you are coming back to Gotham City.
What did you do? Walk? So, the kitten brought a champion. Good. I've brought mine, too.
No. Not here. Not now. Not him.
If you come near her, you'll have to come through me. You heard the man. My Superman.
Metropolis.
What hit us?
He did. I hate this city. We came hunting for Poison Ivy for crimes she committed in Gotham City. She has taken control of Superman.
Love her. Kill them. Tell me you have a plan.
If I know him, and I do, I know what his next move will be. What he doesn't know is what my next move will be. Down!
You think?
We've got seconds before he realizes we're not going to stand and fight.
Where are we going?
Not yet, anyway.
They're getting away. No!
Selina is panicking. Cats and water. She's going to have to trust me.
Night vision engaged.
I'm going to have to trust her. Given the situation, it's at best a distraction, and at the worst, could get us killed. Seconds. Poison Ivy used Catwoman in those Gotham City crimes. She felt violated being controlled by Ivy. It's made the hunt personal for Selina.
Thoughtless, worthless, stupid man.
I can't kill
But you already have. My plants are my children. Are you starting to resist? Foolish. No man can resist me, even Superman. Now, come closer, so I can remind you what will make me happy.
And I can't let Catwoman's desires impair my judgment, despite what I may be feeling for her.
We can't outrun him. He's faster than a... well, you know.
Oh, are we in position?
Close enough. Difficult to get a hard fix given how far underground you are. Whatever she's saying, I hope it's good news. Handy having that Oracle girl.
The parasite once fought him and used these tunnels to escape. A lead-lined sewer system courtesy of LexCorp.
Hooray for Lex Luthor. You've studied Superman, haven't you?
He's the best at what he does.
That's open to debate.
I said he's the best at what he does, not at what I do. You don't come to Metropolis and not be prepared for him. You know your part.
Your standard snatch and grab.
Any one of the three of them.
It'll be the gal. If we want to get a reaction from him, it has to be the gal.
You've studied him.
Trust me, I know the type.
Why did you?
Because later, you might not be able to do that. That's my cue. Good luck.
I don't believe in luck. But if I did, now would be a good time to start. All at once, I'm 10 years old, looking up in the Metropolis skyline with Tommy Elliot. Green Lantern is fighting with the Icicle, and Tommy tells me the Icicle can't win. If you want to beat your opponent, Bruce, you have to think like your opponent. If Clark wanted to, he could use his super speed and squish me into the cement. But I know how he thinks. Even more than the kryptonite, he's got one big weakness. Deep down, Clark's essentially a good person. And deep down, I'm not. I have to keep him contained so he can't fly. I yell at him to keep him distracted. Listen to me! The green K in the ring slows his reflexes. I've opened a gas main. If you so much as make a spark with your heat vision, you'll blow up the entire block. If I hit him again, I'll shatter every bone in my hand. The Kevlar only protects so much, and you know what building we're under. Time to switch to hypersonics. I can't hear them, but he, and any dog in the surrounding area, is going to have a splitting headache in the morning. Enough! Arctic breath. He's holding back as much as he can. And I have to keep the pressure on. Next, blind him. Now, it's all about timing. Not easy to do when your opponent is faster than well, you know. Clark, about the gas main. I lied. He can't be stopped, but he can be stunned. Even if it takes his whole city to do it. The backup relays have the city online in moments. I only hope I've bought Catwoman enough time. You hurt me. This ends now. Look up.
You can save her or fight me. It is your choice, not Poison Ivy's.
Come on, Clark. Be the Boy Scout.
Hold still. You know, you're not very good at this damsel in distress thing. Let go of... me. Ah!
If we had to, Catwoman could catch her. But we don't have to. I've got you.
Hi, honey. You're home. Clark, no offense, but you look like hell.
He's the best at what he does. I've been under Poison Ivy's spell myself. Even though you can't control it, you are aware of your actions. I knew he would be fighting her while he was fighting me. It's probably why I still have a head attached to my shoulders. But if there were an innocent person in jeopardy, real jeopardy, he couldn't let Ivy stop him from that.
So, you and he are working together now? What, are you writing a book or something? Or something?
Ivy will be on the move. She has money in a certain way with anyone who would stop her. And she has help. Smart, connected. Someone who got her the synthetic green K in her lipstick to be able to control you.
Any ideas on who that might be?
Working on it.
We should have a word or two with Ivy. I'm not sure either one of us could find her in time.
But we both know someone who can.
And I think I have a change of clothes up at the fortress, too.
The Metropolis Plaza. Tommy and I stayed here as kids. Put the money down. You're going back to Gotham City.
Like hell I am. I've already called my old friend Maggie Sawyer. She's arranged for the Metropolis SCU to deliver you to the GCPD. I don't know how you found me, but sometimes all the detective work in the world can't beat a superdog with a keen sense of smell. Hello, Ivy. Goodbye, Ivy. Catwoman, was that really necessary?
Yes. It is time to leave this city, but not before Clark has his say.
Don't even think about it, dog. How did Catwoman know to pick Lois? You didn't.
I only told her that you care about the people who work at the Daily Planet. She had 3 choices. Lois, Jimmy Olsen, or even Perry White. Catwoman picked Lois.
You could have gotten Lois killed.
No, I believed in you.
All the good work, including the JLA. How long has it been?
Why?
Always the detective.
Ever the Boy Scout.
Thank you. Now, more than ever, I know I gave the ring to the right person.
What are friends for?
What are friends for?
The Gotham City Opera House. I should be on patrol.
Indeed, Master Bruce, cavorting around in your pajamas is far more important than supporting a worthy cause.
Did I say something, Alfred?
No, but you were thinking it.
I have an unknown antagonist, someone who has studied me and has studied my enemies, teaching them new methods.
I've packed your belongings. Do try to make it at least until the intermission.
Anything else?
Lucius Fox wishes to speak with you regarding Wayne Tech business.
That can wait.
And Selina Kyle will be joining you this evening. I take it then that will not wait.
My interrogations of Killer Croc while he was in custody in Gotham and Poison Ivy have produced little or nothing with regard to my opponent's identity. It isn't just their silence that I find frustrating. It's the way they are being silent, as if they were being instructed to do so.
Seen enough, or should I send you the catalog?
Bruce, really glad you could make it. Are you kidding, Tommy? Any benefit for Leslie and I'd be there, even if my doctor ordered me otherwise. Ha! Tonight I'll make an exception. I didn't realize that you knew about the Park Row Clinic. Good work should be rewarded, especially in this city. Now, if you ladies will join us, our opera box awaits.
Hello, Leslie.
Selina, you look grand.
There is only one thing about my new adversary that I am certain of. He or she has only begun. The opera. Oddly enough, it was my father's passion, and not my mother's.
That's it. Bruce and Selina, and Leslie, I'll sit with you. Boy, girl, boy, girl.
While my father chafed at the idea of literature and cinema being introduced into my life, courtesy of my mother, what's the use of filling the boy's head with useless imaginary things, he was apt to say. He had no such reservations when it came to the works of Verdi, Puccini, and especially Leoncavallo. There was something about the opera, how they often ended in tragedy, that my father found appealing. How long have you known Tommy Elliot?
I don't, only by reputation. Certainly not well enough to call him Tommy.
A childhood nickname.
Then how did I get invited? Leslie and I are old friends. I'm her date.
Hush, you two. It's starting. I don't want to have to separate you.
Oh, Thomas. Well, I don't.
Alfred has told me how my father would even play opera on the Victrola in the operating room. If the patient died, my father could always say they weren't opera lovers. I believe that was my father's attempt at humor.
Ready, Pagliaccio.
The evening is made only more complicated by the inclusion of Selina Kyle.
I've run out of Rice Krispies.
While I know that she is also Catwoman, she does not know about my secret.
Boo, boo.
And as Batman and Catwoman, hidden behind those masks, we have begun a romance that Bruce Wayne and Selina do not share.
Bruce, those lyrics.
Yes, I know. It's an odd performance.
Oh, wow.
We are the stuff of great opera, Alfred has commented.
Opera schmopera.
Harley Quinn, the Joker's girlfriend.
Ladies and jerks, there's been a slight change in tonight's show. Instead of the opera robbing you for something like $1,000 a seat, we're gonna rob you. Believe me, folks, I've seen it already. I'm doing you a big favor.
This is outrageous. I'm calling the police.
Don't you hate this? You're trying to have a nice night on the town, and some peanut brain forgets to turn off all the cell phones and pages during the performance.
My sources had her working out of Metropolis of late, teamed with Poison Ivy, and with Ivy's capture in Metropolis and subsequent deportation back to Gotham City, the Lamb was sure to follow.
Well, if it ain't zillionaire Bruce Wayne, don't tell anybody, but I got all goosebumpily when I'm robbing the rich and famous. Hey, you look awfully familiar, sister. You ever spend any time up at Arkham Asylum? No. Too bad. You'd have been very popular.
Please, take whatever you want. Just don't hurt anyone.
Yeah, blah, blah. You're kidding, right? I ain't bargain hunting, lady. Now, let's see what we got here. Mr. Gonna drop a dime on me. Don't you dare listen to ya, like I got a choice. Oh, pretty.
I recognize that piece. It was a gift from Tommy's mother.
What is it, Tommy? My mom gave it to me, Bruce. It's a circle. That means life goes on or something like that.
It looks like a lifesaver. I'm gonna swallow it.
Give it back. Give it back, Bruce, or I'll hurt you so bad.
Here, take it.
I'm sorry, Tommy. I was just fooling around.
The jade pendant was very important to Tommy.
No!
I know something of a mother's things.
Finders keepers. Losers
that are taken by a thief in the night.
What'd you go and push me for? That bad man wants to wreck all our fun. That's it, boys. Bring down the house.
Once again, my enemies overstep their customary boundaries. Harley has never tried something this big.
Dr. Elliot, get down, you idiot. I know what I'm doing.
No one takes from me. No one.
Bruce, tell your friend. Bruce, I think he went off to find help. Men. Well, you're not going to let them have all the fun, are you? Leslie, I can't leave you. Oh, bosh, I've been through worse. Now, I'm sure you've got something in that black bag of yours besides your wallet and lipstick. So, don't you let anybody get hurt.
Alfred will be disappointed. I didn't make it until the intermission.
My big opening night, and look who's trying to upstage me.
My first responsibility is the safety of the patrons. As long as the gunmen remain in the orchestra pit, I can keep this contained. Mace, smoke, flash grenades, batarangs.
Tisk, 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 Mr. B. You really only know how to stick to the script, huh?
Script. In the past, Harley has been, at best, delusional. But could this entire robbery be scripted? And for whom? I've been wearing a cowl with Kevlar reinforcement. to protect my skull from my recent head surgery, but tonight I insisted I would be fine without it, despite Alfred's concerns.
A little work on your improv might do you some good.
Thought I was stronger. I needed to be stronger, and my enemy takes advantage of my hubris.
Ivy and I had a sweet thing going before this whole mess got started. Maybe I should go off book and blow your brains out and end it right now.
Head spinning. Blood.
Badly conceived, badly acted, badly staged. The audience actually wants their money back.
Ugh, everybody's a critic. Oh, great. An understudy for Robin, the boy hostage.
No, not ever.
Hey, if you don't want the part, don't play the part, cat lady. Heavens to Murgatroyd. Exit stage left. Or is this stage right? Gracious, these seats are very down front.
Look, dearest, he caught her. Remarkable.
In the insanity of this evening, the audience believes we are part of the show.
Bravo! Bravo!
The opera.
Batman,
Lie still. You need medical attention.
I know that. Come closer. If you ever choose to rescue me again over catching the bad guy, I swear I'll scratch your eyes out. I'm not some kid you took in and drained.
No, she is certainly not some kid.
Batman, I'll take care of her. You go do what needs to be done.
Leslie Tompkins. On the night my parents were killed, she reached out to a small boy and gave him comfort in a world where he thought he had none. She has been doing that very same thing for countless others before and ever since.
That concludes this evening's performance. Miss Quinn can be next seen in A Clean Getaway, written by the starlet herself.
I want what you stole from me.
And people in Icewater want hell, but that doesn't mean they're gonna get it. Applause, applause, applause.
Give it back! Selena's earring. Harley came this way. My head's on fire, but after what Harley did to Selena, I have to. No. No!
Now. That's how you make an entrance.
There was something about the opera, how they often ended in tragedy, that my father found appealing. The Joker. I have known him longer than any other criminal.
Stop.
He shot Barbara Gordon at point-blank range and left her to die. The fact that she is still alive does nothing to lessen the anguish he brought down on her. Deemed insane by the courts, he never went to jail for the crime. Despite all my efforts, I know very little about his origin.
Stop.
Who he was before he became the monster he is today. He shot Lieutenant Sarah Essen, former police commissioner, Jim Gordon's wife, and killed her. The Joker's life should have ended then and there. Dick Grayson, Nightwing. He explained to me once that the Joker and I are forever linked in constant battle.
Stop.
That in some sick way, the Joker exists because of me. How I represent the order that is necessary to live in Gotham City, and the Joker is the chaos that disrupts that order. The Joker beat a child named Jason Todd to death for nothing more than wanting to be the young hero Robin, the boy wonder. He walked away from any responsibility for that crime by using some bizarre diplomatic immunity he had obtained. Only moments ago, the Joker took the life of a childhood friend, Dr. Thomas Elliot, Tommy. Returned to me as I lay dying. Without any hesitation, he used his skills as a surgeon. I am alive today only because of him. Now, Tommy is dead, and the Joker killed him. Stop! I think about what Nightwing said. My being responsible for the Joker as years' worth of rage courses through my fists. I cannot. Stop! Stop! I will not accept any responsibility. Stop! For the Joker. Batman! Except that I should have killed him long ago. Stop me. If you've heard this one before. Batman, I'm innocent. Shh. You see, I didn't kill this guy. I can hear his confession, but it means nothing. Harley Quinn.
Oopsie! Ah! Sorry, Mr. J. He, ducked. Get away from him, you big galoot. If my guy says he's innocent, then he's innocent. Right, Puddin'?
In some perverse way, she loves him.
Ugh!
I will let no one, nothing,
Ouchie!
defend the Joker or his actions.
I'm not joking, Bat Boob. Check my gun. Nothing but blanks.
It's just another lie to keep himself alive. I think of Barbara, and snapping the Joker's neck becomes that much easier. Batgirl. She loved the job, possibly even more than Dick did as Robin, and I indulged her, maybe out of respect for her father. I understood her addiction to seeking out justice, to rid this city of the evil that manifests itself here. Even though she knew the risks, still haunted by that single moment. She cannot give it up, even without the use of her legs. She is invaluable to me in her role as Oracle. And I tell myself that Barbara would understand what I have to do tonight.
No, I don't want to fight you.
Catwoman, Selina. Earlier tonight, Harley Quinn shot her. Her shoulder is still damp with blood.
I'll do what I have to keep you from doing something you'll only regret.
How could I regret what should have been done a long time ago? How could she understand?
Don't... Damn it! I know what you're feeling, but if our roles were reversed, you would do everything in your power to stop me.
She wasn't there when I found... Jason. Jason never had the skills that Dick had. I should never have let him put on the costume. No matter what differences we've had through the years, I've always known that Dick had a gift. Jason only had rage. And I hoped that if I could channel that rage into something more productive. For these reasons, I've carried the burden of responsibility for Jason's death, when it is the Joker's fault, his price to pay. Whatever feelings I may have for you, Selina, and that is very complicated right now, I cannot let you stop me. Her bullet wound makes her vulnerable, and I exploit it. And I tell myself she will understand someday. Selina. Don't you see that our relationship only allows for the possibility that one night it will be you that I find killed by the Joker? I will not allow that nightmare to become a reality. He dies tonight by my hand.
Help! Wild man! Madman! Batty-man!
There will be no escape.
No!
There is nothing I can do to him that would cause him the agony that he has brought upon others. But I can come close. Stand up and put your hands in the air. I could crush his windpipe and sever all oxygen from his brain. The next shot, I will drop you. I could push his ribs right through his lungs and rupture his heart. You have to think about what you are doing. Who and what made you who you are. Your role models, the beliefs they instilled in you. And think of how the Joker could never understand that. It's what makes him who he is. Think! I could pound his skull into the pavement until it fractured into so many pieces his brain would spill out. God help me. You have thought this through. It is what should have been done a long time ago. I may no longer carry a badge, but I still believe in the policeman's oath to protect and serve. All I can do is appeal to you through our friendship. I wouldn't let you do this when he shot my daughter, killed my wife. I don't know how I could stop you, but I won't let you throw your life away. Jim Gordon, with all he's lost, I thought he'd understand. Jim. You and I have seen more than our fair share of tragedies, and thirsted for revenge. If Batman wanted to be a killer, he could have started long ago. But it's a line. On one side, we believe in the law. On the other, sometimes the law fails us. Maybe that's why I've understood you, allowed you to help protect this city. Batman, if you cross that line, if you kill the Joker tonight, I will lead the hunt to bring you to justice. In the eyes of the law, in my eyes, you'll be no different from him. How many more lives are we going to let him ruin? I don't care. I won't let him ruin yours. I'm innocent. It was from an alley like this one that a man with a gun emerged from the darkness and murdered my mother and father. In that single moment, my childhood ended. I made a promise on the grave of my parents that I would rid this city of the evil that took their lives. Tonight, I nearly became a part of that evil. He is innocent. Get the joke? Tommy Elliot is dead. We live in a violent world. I went to my first funeral at the age of 10. As kids, to our parents' horror, Tommy and I would play hide and seek among the gravestones. His father, and later, his mother, are both buried here as well. Dr. Thomas Elliot used his skills as a surgeon to save the lives that others would have taken away. Unfortunately, there was no one skilled enough to save him. Despite spending most of his adulthood in Philadelphia, he left instructions that he be laid to rest here, next to his parents, in the Gotham City cemetery. I wish I knew how to sum up a man's entire life in a few sentences, but as those of you who know me can attest, when it comes to the craft of the wordsmith, I'm something of a failure.
Dick, you ever hear Bruce talk about this guy before? Not much, but he doesn't really talk about his childhood either, Tim.
Tommy left no family, no heirs. Only the family chauffeur, Clarence, who had been retired for years, knew where to find his personal effects. I see Dick and Tim, and suddenly, my life seems that much richer. We met at school. Our lockers were next to each other.
Hey, look at that. We've both got two first names for our first and last names.
Not many of the other children spoke to me. The Wayne fortune had a way of intimidating people. Nothing intimidated Tommy.
You play? I do. Any good? Better than you.
Ha! Tommy loved a good challenge more than anything. Alfred, Leslie Tompkins, Lucius Fox. So, I thought it best I read something that Tommy would have enjoyed.
Oh, please, not oh, Captain, my Captain. Don't you know, Selina, it's one of Bruce's favorite pieces. Remind me to not have him speak at my funeral.
Selina, I seem to have more family than I seem to have. Oh, Captain, my Captain, our fearful trip is done. The ship has weathered every rack. The prize we sought is won. I was living in Paris when Tommy graduated from medical school. Alfred got word to me that he had wanted to follow in my father's footsteps and become the world's greatest surgeon. And I was in Japan when Alfred sent me a telegram telling me Tommy's mother had died of cancer. I always meant to get back to see him, but my life had changed by then. Exult, O shores, and ring, O bells, but I with mournful tread walk the deck my captain lies, fallen cold and dead. I have been to too many funerals. Sleep well, Tommy. The cave. I have been awake for 56 hours.
Subject analysis. Elliot, Thomas. Cause of death. Heart failure due to rupture of the aortic valve and left ventricle. Ballistic report indicates the bullet was fired from a 9mm Glock. Standard issue Gotham City Police Department firearm. Subject's blood flooded into the lungs. Joker, identity unknown, charged with the murder, being held at Arkham Asylum for observation. Cause of death, heart failure due to rupture of the aortic valve. Joker, identity unknown.
As with everything, the answer lies somewhere in the details.
Analysis. Elliot, Thomas. Cause of death, heart failure due to rupture. Bruce, hello? I've been talking to you for about 10 minutes.
I have been listening.
Joker, identity unknown. Do you think you could turn that thing off for a couple of minutes so we can talk? Which requires you doing more than listening?
Computer, audio and visual off.
Gotham City Police Department. Audio and visual off.
You've got 2 minutes, Dick. And while I appreciate your concern for my well-being,
it's not just me. Alfred, Barbara, Tim.
Given that I've lost a friend, a good friend, even though we hadn't seen each other for a long time.
Hey, given your usual grim and moody self, you're being a box of chocolates. But you caught the bad guy. The Joker's back in Arkham for like the 79th time, where maybe we can hold on to him for more than an hour and a half this time.
The Joker didn't kill Tommy.
Whoa, wait, back up. You were there.
I saw what I was meant to see, heard what I was meant to hear. A gunshot, Tommy's body lying dead with a bullet through his heart, the Joker holding a smoking gun. But, as I said, the Joker didn't kill Tommy. Then, who? Computer, track visual to my voice.
Confirmed.
It involves the manipulation of Killer Croc, Catwoman, Poison Ivy, and Harley Quinn. It reaches as high as Superman, and as low as the Joker. It's someone new, or someone old trying something new.
That narrows it down to, say, half the criminal population of Gotham City?
If detective work were easy, everyone would be doing it.
Was that humor? Now I am worried about you.
It even got to me. I almost killed the Joker. I honestly wanted to.
Bruce. Without sounding trite, whatever your impulse was, you didn't act on it. Whoever is doing this, you'll get them. Guys?
Yes, Oracle.
If you're all through with the male bonding, does she have to listen to everything?
You'd know better than I would.
I heard that. So if either of you is interested, the Riddler just hijacked an armored car with $11 million in cash on board. He left a note. What is it that has 4 wheels, costs $11 million, and flies? The night air might clear your head.
Let's take the car.
Great. Which one? So, word under the street is you're seeing Catwoman. Any truth in that? I take it by your silence. It is true.
Dick always spoke to me without fear. No matter what else has happened to us through the years, he has earned that right.
Look, this may be none of my damn business, and I know you think I'm against you going out with a former known thief or whatever she was. Anyway, I'm not against it. Bruce, I've known you too long. I came down to the cave expecting to find you draped in shadows, cut off from everyone, including yourself. You lost an old friend, I get it. But there's something different about you. Good different. If she makes you happy, great. Except every relationship you've ever had with a woman, either as Bruce or Batman, has gotten screwed up because you didn't tell her about your being either Batman or Bruce. My point is, tell her. Hell, you've known each other so long, she probably already knows.
You're right.
Really?
It is none of your damn business.
Okay, the Riddler just passed the Denny's on Adams. If you turn left on 2nd Avenue...
Well, boys, have you figured out what's got 4 wheels, costs $11 million, and flies?
Battering ram engaged. Listen, Bruce, if you do decide to have that conversation with her, you might want to shave first.
The first person I ever revealed my identity to was Dick Grayson. He was about the same age I was when my parents were killed. His parents, circus acrobats, had been murdered, and I wanted to make a difference in his life. The way if my parents had lived, they would have made a difference in mine. Through the years, I've debated whether or not it was fair of me to take him in, train him, give him another identity to hide behind. But I've learned that Dick wasn't like me. He didn't come from a world of privilege. He was a performer, gifted in that way. And while, at the time, the transition from Robin to Nightwing was difficult for us both, it was a day I had long prepared myself for because Dick was born to be in the center ring.
Ha ha ha!
I think about Edward Nygma and the life he has had as the Riddler, where once his obsessive need to leave riddles as clues would confound me. Everything about him has become routine. A solid gold garbage truck. I half expected him to have retired by now. Someone has taken the time to infiltrate the lives of Poison Ivy, Killer Croc, Harley Quinn, even the Joker. And yet, the Riddler has apparently been ignored.
Need any help with that?
No, I've got it. An armored car robbery, even with $11 million in cash, is exactly the sort of crime the Riddler has always taken on. And the riddle, by his standards, was amateurish. Why was he ignored? Was he somehow undeserving?
Activating ultraviolet.
Or, knowingly or otherwise, was he himself intended to be the riddle?
Anything?
Maybe. I've seen this substance before. Ash, from the Lazarus pit. As with everything, the answer lies somewhere in the details.
What is this, a joke? I don't know you. Do I? I'm your attorney. You're free on bail, pending a hearing to get the charges dropped. It's not like you, seeking me out. Not that I'm complaining, mind you.
A few days ago, I buried a dear friend.
I'm sorry. I may be crazy, but I'm not going anywhere with some bandage head. Fair enough.
It's been suggested that I'm handling it well because I have you in my life.
I have a fan. Is it the little bird or the bigger one?
Nightwing.
Wait a second. I know that voice. You should. We go way back, to even before my accident.
I know who you are, Selina, where you live, what you do during the day. Like you, I have 2 lives. I want you to be part of both of them.
You broke into my home one Christmas, beat me up in front of my wife. This isn't going to turn out to be a good surprise, is it? You know, for a loner, you certainly have yourself a lot of strings. Nightwing, Robin, Oracle, Huntress, Batgirl. I just don't want to be the one string that trips you up.
You won't.
So, you had a little plastic surgery done. Okay, a lot of plastic surgery done. What's this all about, Two-Face?
Sorry, Two-Face is gone.
Bruce. Harvey Dent is back, and I'm going to finish the job I set out to do as district attorney when the law was on my side.
So, where do we go from here?
You could find a razor. And a bath wouldn't kill you.
Dick was right. I should have shaved. 1 mile out from Metropolis. Midnight.
Metropolis Tower, this is LexCorp 1, climbing now to 8,000 feet and turning east over the Atlantic.
For months now, someone has been on the attack, recruiting and educating my oldest foes in new and deadly ways.
Roger, LexCorp 1, you've got clear skies all the way to 30,000 feet. Have a safe ride. We copy that, Metropolis. It looks like smooth sailing from here on in.
Oracle, I'm in position.
B, listen to me. I know how much you want to bring this to an end.
That sort of operation requires time and money, and as Bruce Wayne should know, there are only a handful of people who have enough of both. As a detective, my task was to narrow that list down to 1 suspect.
But even for you, this is crazy. You've got civilians in there, B.
You will take the wing controls in 3, 2,
Will you listen to me?
1. The time has come to take the battle back to its source.
Okay, I've got the wing. She'll be safely returned to the base, which is more than I can say for
Keep to the plan, O. The LexCorp Gulfstream 5 has the same specifications as Wayne Tech's Airglide 3. Lucius tells me that we'll be in court for years over patent infringement.
Door sealed. Door breached.
Good Lord, we've got a failure in the rear cabin door. Having knowledge of the inner workings of the aircraft gives me the edge. It's one of the few times I'm grateful for the way LexCorp does business. Oh, I'm in.
And I'm less than thrilled at jamming a distress call, even theirs.
Mayday, Metropolis Tower. This is LexCorp 1.
Heat sensor activated.
Traveling at this velocity, an experienced pilot will decrease altitude as slowly as possible to counteract the loss of cabin pressure. The bodyguards will have been instructed not to fire their weapons on board to keep from rupturing the hull. I have less than 1 minute to get in and out before the cabin door automatically reseals itself.
Heat sensor off.
But by then, I will have taken what I came for.
Only you would be so brazen.
Only here would she be so vulnerable.
Your move, beloved. Why are you doing this?
Talia Head, Ra's al Ghul's daughter. Ask your father. One night, years ago, Robin, Dick Grayson, before he became Nightwing, was ambushed inside his dorm room.
My father and I no longer speak, but you knew that.
No one had seen or heard anything. It was as though he just vanished. Estranged or not, he will not allow for you to be hurt. Finally, I was contacted, not as Batman, but as Bruce Wayne.
You will never hurt me, my love.
I am not your love. His kidnapper had uncovered my secret identity and challenged me to find and rescue Dick. It turned out to be a test staged by her father to see if I was a worthy suitor for Talia. That is how I first met Ra's al Ghul. Oracle worries my actions this evening will have repercussions. I'm counting on it.
Mr. President!
The White House, sometime after midnight, where, as incredible as it sounds, Lex Luthor is the President of the United States.
Sir, there's been a hijacking and kidnapping aboard LexCorp 1.
Mr. Vice President, Pete, you know how careful I have to be regarding my former holdings. Corporate espionage is the price of doing business. I'm surprised that Miss Head...
It was Batman, sir. We have confirmation through SATCOM. It was some sort of bat-shaped aircraft with a cloaking device making it essentially an invisible plane. Do you wish to take action?
Not yet. It is nearly 3 a.m. by the time I return to the cave. I have left Talia elsewhere. She is unharmed and where no one can find her. My message has been received. However, Ra's has responded even more quickly than I expected. If he, accompanied by any of his League of Assassins, were here, then... Alfred! I have known Alfred Pennyworth my entire life. He was hired by my father. Alfred! And when my parents were murdered, he assumed, as best as anyone could, their role. To strike at me through him.
Sir,
you're here. Safe.
Speaking to the world's greatest detective, it would be neglectful of me not to point out, you are correct, sir.
Only Raish would have the capability to get into the cave undetected. But if I'm reading his message correctly, why come all this way, only to retreat back to his homeland?
I'm certain that your musings were more rhetorical in nature, sir, but for what it's worth, perhaps he wishes to draw you back there with him, and in doing so, leave something or someone in Gotham City unprotected.
I have no choice. There is too much at stake. Is that what Raish is counting on? Jim Gordon's home, the former police commissioner.
Hands in the air! You think you can break into my home?
Put the gun down, Jimbo. I just want to talk.
Two-Face!
No, it's me, Harvey Dent. The man I knew as Harvey Dent is dead. He was lost to a deranged lunatic named Two-Face. Is that how it is, Jimbo? No second chances? In your case, you've gotten second, third, and fourth chances, and you burned them all. Okay, I deserved that, but I didn't come here tonight for me. It's Bats. He needs our help, now more than ever.
It's going to take a little more than some plastic surgery to make me believe you've changed sides. I heard about that stunt you pulled out at Arkham, getting the Joker released, posing as his attorney.
I've had my license reinstated by the state.
That's not possible, is it?
The Joker was innocent. You know that. You were there in the alley. You stopped Batman from killing him. The phone call that told you to go there. Tell me you didn't recognize my voice.
What the hell do you want?
The gun that killed Tommy Elliott. When it's found, it will be traced back to you. It's your service pistol, the one you turned in when you retired.
How could you know a thing like that?
It's all part of a game. Like it not, we're two of the pieces. The question is, how much longer do you want to play?
The camel's bridle on the hilt of the sword. One of my earliest encounters with Raish began with my finding one he had left behind. It brought me here, to North Africa, as it has again.
Where is my daughter, detective?
Safe.
You think I am responsible for your recent misfortunes? The death of your friend Thomas Elliot, for example. You are mistaken.
You have means, opportunity, and knowledge only a few possess about my personal life.
I will make you a proposition. If you defeat me here this evening, I will help solve your dilemma. Should I triumph, however, my daughter is to be released, and you will pay for this insubordination with your life.
Intentionally or not, Raish reminded me of when my childhood friend, Tommy Elliott, and I would play war with small pewter figures. How Tommy would chastise me for not thinking like my opponent, acting as the enemy would.
So, apparently a leopard can change its spots. What happened to your American way of waiting for your opponent to be ready?
Raish has would never relent in his attack.
Perhaps my metaphor was inappropriate. Not a leopard, but a snake that has shed his skin, revealing his true self. Then come, detective, show me what you have become.
I cannot give up my ground. I've put too much at risk. Selina, back in Gotham City.
I know you're awake. Cats can sense that sort of thing. I can smell him on you. Lovers can sense that sort of thing. You can never have him, you know. I've made it this far in life without having to have someone. So whatever information you think you're trading on, then you haven't made love with him yet. I offered to babysit you, hide you where Daddy can't find you. Then you both have foolishly underestimated my father. There weren't any specific instructions that said I couldn't gag you.
Release her!
Oh, hell.
I did not have to ask. When Selina realized what I intended to do, she told me she would keep Talia out of reach. And I will spare your life. Lady Shiva, what an unpleasant surprise.
I could have used Dick, gone to Bloodhaven, but Selina put it simply, if we're going to be in each other's lives, we need to be in each other's lives.
Talia stays. You go. Remember, I gave you a choice.
In choosing to reveal myself as Bruce Wayne, I have decided to trust her. What I should have expected, but am still appreciating, is that she trusts me. I cannot, will not fail her trust.
You've certainly found the passion for the game. Whoever has manipulated you into this frame of mind, they are to be commended.
This is not a game.
You cannot defeat her. She is a master assassin, perhaps the deadliest of my father. Shut up, you.
Think like the enemy. And to do so without becoming the enemy. It is over, Raish. Now, tell me. The time it will take for your assassins to stop me, you could spend getting to medical help, or to a Lazarus pit.
Well played, detective. I have entertained you this evening because we seek the same person whose identity I do not know. So, you see, your problem has become my problem, and it suits me to have you solve it for us both. Several months ago, one of the few remaining Lazarus pits was defiled. As you know, once the life-restoring energies have been tapped, the pit itself is rendered useless. Ask yourself, detective, who in your life would wish to come back from the dead?
I must return to Gotham City.
Ask yourself, Catwoman. Is he paying to keep Talia nearly what I am being paid to steal her from you? No, I didn't think so. I only allowed this fight to continue to test your mettle. Why Batman would trust you remains a mystery to me. But your death will keep me from wondering about it for two. Tell my father to stay out of my life. Games.
I am too late. Who did this?
In certain ways, you did.
Why didn't you escape and just leave her?
I did. She would have died, but I returned. Now she won't. The herbs I used will restore her health, her face within hours.
Then, why did you come back?
I told you recently there was something different about you. Now I know why. You care for her, maybe even love her. Your mysterious opponent knows this, and will use that against you. Is she worth it?
Yes. I have made a decision to bring Catwoman back to the cave.
What can I do to help?
I did not do this cavalierly. The cave, in so many ways, is my most private place. As soon as Alfred is done, there'll be work to do.
Yes, because taking time for this to heal would be out of the question.
I bet you have to do this pretty often.
No.
Constantly.
I tell myself that her perspective on the case may shed some light where there otherwise is none.
Oh, God.
Something wrong? After all, cats can see in the dark.
I just didn't expect the scars.
Each of them carries a memory.
Most people opt for a photo album.
I am not. Nor will I ever be. Most people.
And that
you don't remember. But if I'm going to trust her, as I have chosen to do so, it has to be completely.
Well, now that you mention it, you can't imagine how difficult it was to get out of that old costume. Or maybe you can.
While my parents were still alive, I fell through a hole and tumbled down into the cave.
Sir, if I may, those stitches will hardly—
We're done.
I'm not done. Miss, I'd appreciate it if you'd—
Terrified, a dark world was opened to me, filled with bats and other horrible shadows. Why?
To make it all better. Now we're done.
But after tonight, the cave seems a little less cold. We have work to do.
So much pain. Why does he keep doing it? It is difficult to say. Do you think he'd tell me? Miss Kyle, his trust is not something one can steal from a museum late at night. Careful, Mr. Pennyworth. I've scratched men's eyes out for taking that tone with me. Yes, I imagine you have. While I have sewn his flesh, set his bones, and removed more spent bullets from his body than I care to remember, there is one thing I wouldn't have the slightest clue how to mend. Now you've piqued my curiosity. A broken heart. I hope you understand how truly extraordinary it is for him to share his secrets with you, including his bringing you here tonight. You don't think much of me, do you? Quite the contrary. I think the world of you, and while he may not say it, so does he. You began this evening asking what you could do to help. You are doing it, Miss Kyle, and please continue to do so. Well. Batman, Hush, Chapter 10, The Grave.
The cave underneath Wayne Manor.
Can you at least tell me what you're looking for?
I have invited Catwoman, Selina, down here, to include her in this investigation. Answers.
You think you could be a little more vague?
To include her in my life. What if everything that's happened in the past few months, Poison Ivy's taking control of you, Killer Croc's subsequent attack, the fights with Superman, Harley Quinn, the Joker, Tommy Elliott's death, all had been orchestrated?
Curious. Who's doing it and why?
Since this all started, what is different?
Us.
And do you think that's a result of—
Hold that thought.
Ra's al Ghul had a sword embedded into this computer console. At the time, I was focused on the sword itself and its meaning. Its placement appeared random other than to draw my attention.
Why don't you come out and join the party?
In doing so, I may have neglected the first rule as a detective.
Robin.
Nothing is random.
Maybe because I wasn't asked, but I'll be happy to crash it.
Admittedly, Catwoman has been a distraction. Is that what my opponent intended? Tim Drake came into my life uninvited. Dick Grayson had left, outgrowing his role as Robin and choosing to become Nightwing.
You shouldn't be here.
But after Jason Todd died,
you shouldn't be telling other people what to do.
You might have fooled him, seduced him, but I know what you are.
Kid. You don't know the first thing about me, so let me school you on something. I don't let grown men speak to me the way you just did.
After Jason died, I swore there would never be another Robin, and yet—
But those who have only did it once.
Enough. Tim Drake is Robin, the teen wonder. Calm down.
Don't tell me
This isn't a discussion. Tim was something of an amateur detective. He had studied Batman, a boy with a hobby. Jason had died. I was alone, angry. Tim recognized that anger and decided to do something about it. Robin, she's my guest. He managed to accomplish what few others have been able to do. He deduced that Batman and Bruce Wayne were one and the same. Furthermore, that Dick Grayson had been the original Robin.
She can't be trusted.
That's my choice. Like this was my choice.
You told her?
Tim clung to a theory that Batman needs a Robin.
You got it straight now. Or do I have to draw you a picture?
More than just for a legacy, but as a balance. I should have what? Consulted you? This was my decision.
Then you made the wrong one.
It was mine to make. I had taken both Dick and Jason in when they had no place else to go, but Tim sought out the role. He wanted to be Robin. And as hard as I tried to convince him otherwise, Tim worked for it.
Strings.
What?
I told you, for a man who is supposedly a loner, you've got an awful lot of strings. And I'm not going to be the one who trips you up. You come at me one more time, little bird, and I'll clip your wings, no matter what your daddy says. He's not my father. Tell him that. It's getting a little thick in here. You should try airing this place out every once in a while. I'm borrowing one of your motorcycles.
You can take the...
I wasn't asking. When you're all through with your toy wonder, you know how to find me.
Do you think she bought it?
There's only one way to find out. Dick saw being Robin as a thrill. It's probably why he outgrew it. Jason saw being Robin as a game. It's probably what got him killed.
I could have taken her, you know.
Tell her that. But Tim, I have to hand it to the boy. He wants to be the world's greatest detective, and from what I've seen so far, he will be someday. I had told Tim about my decision to include Selina in my life, if for no other reason than I knew Dick would tell him, and Tim should hear it from me. He was angry, confused, and I had to remember how young he is, and how long ago it was since I was his age. If Tim has one character flaw, it's that he still sees the world in black and whites. Good and evil wear very different masks in his eyes.
Hey, Huntress.
He's getting old enough to accept that there are grays in every situation. We may not like them, but it's part of what we do. And my relationship with Catwoman is, at best, gray. So when Tim asked the obvious question, do you trust her?
Lady, you picked the wrong night to play games with me.
I gave him the obvious answer. I wouldn't have told her I was Bruce Wayne unless I did. 3 nights later, I came back to Tim and said I trusted him. Whoever it is that is interfering in my life, who killed Tommy Elliott, is someone close, someone who knows me, has studied me. And if my experience when I first met Tim still holds true, then it is possible this individual, if it is one person, has uncovered Bruce Wayne as Batman.
We didn't know. When we took the money for the bike, the equipment, the new uniform, we checked the guy out. He was clean. The money was clean, or we wouldn't have taken it. But when they killed him, I knew it was all going to unravel. Huntress, I don't have the slightest idea what you're talking about. I saved his life. Not that he'd ever thank me, but if I hadn't put him in the car, I knew he'd figure out my being near Crime Alley was too coincidental, that I'd be the first one there. I'm not afraid of you.
Are you on something?
I need to know. I need to know if I made a mistake with Selina.
It's going to get worse before it gets better. Huntress!
As Alfred would undoubtedly say, the seeds of doubt grow bitter fruit.
Something has you out of your mind. You can't take away what we are now. I'm taking you down before you hurt anybody, including me. No, we can stop them if we stop fighting. Huntress, I'll stop fighting when you start making sense. Why can't you recognize me? You're me. You're what I used to be, what I can't be anymore. I'm not afraid of you.
I know now. Catwoman can handle herself, but if what I suspect has happened to Huntress is true, she may force Selina to kill her. Stay here, but don't argue. I need a second pair of eyes.
What am I looking for?
Not what. Who?
Okay, who?
Me. Pretender. Douse Huntress with this. It will make her sleep.
Wait a second. Have you been following me?
Get ready to move.
What the hell are you talking about?
Huntress's movements, her speech pattern, her obvious fear of something that is haunting her. Talk to me, damn it. Only one person could have affected her mind in that way. Jonathan Crane is the Scarecrow, psychiatrist turned psychopath. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. His involvement in tonight, in all of this, reveals a great deal. Mama's going to buy you a mockingbird. And if that mockingbird don't sing... Crane has developed various fear toxins that invade the mind. Depending on the severity of the dose, there can be no immediate antidote, other than time and sleep. Scarecrow's control hangs on keeping his opponent off balance, rearranging reality. Mama's gonna buy you a diamond ring. But it wasn't until now that I could be sure that all of this night was arranged to bring me here. And if that diamond ring turns brass, Mama's gonna buy you a looking glass. And if that looking glass gets broke, Mama's gonna buy you a billy coat. And if that billy coat won't pull, Mama's gonna buy you a cart and bull. This graveyard, no one should know who is buried here. And if that cart and bull turn over, Mama's gonna buy you a dog named Rover. And if that dog named Rover won't bark, Mama's gonna buy you a horse and cart. And if that horse and cart fall... Why? Tell me. Mama's gonna buy... Stop it. It's over. I don't want to talk to Scarecrow. I want Dr. Jonathan Crane. You did the profile work. Used your expertise as a psychiatrist to exploit what they all wanted. The Joker, Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, Killer Croc, Huntress, Catwoman. Me. I don't understand. My fear gas should have affected you. Unless your mind was already infected by another. Gah! Who? The voice, muffled by the bandages, hidden in the wind. You care about this, imposter, pretender. Let the boy go. Why? Why should I give him the chance you never gave me? Who are you? The world's greatest detective, and you still haven't figured it out. This place was a secret. Alfred and I had the body moved here so no one could find it, defile it. Life's just a game, Batman. And this time, you lose. Jason Todd became Robin after Dick Grayson. Hoping to harness the rage that had driven him throughout his life, I taught him how to fight. He knows all my secrets, and he has been dead for years. Jason Todd is dead. The Joker killed him years ago. However, it is not impossible for the dead to come back to life. I know what you're doing. You're thinking about when I died. How there's blood on your hands because you couldn't get there in time to stop the Joker from killing me. Superman died. Green Arrow died. And they are alive today. Jason was buried here. The grave is empty. His corpse is gone. Keeping silent. Gathering your thoughts, hoping to rattle your opponent. I'll make it simple for you. You've got to get to me before I slit this pretender's throat. Tell me, Batman, you let one Robin die. Want to go for two? Take him! No! Ra's al Ghul has something he calls a Lazarus pit. The pit has certain properties that can restore life to the dead. According to Ra's, who could be lying, someone took advantage of one of the pit's healing energies. Catwoman, I told you to stay with the Huntress. Couldn't let someone else clip the little bird's wings. I didn't know you cared. I don't, but if something happened to you, he'd be hell to live with. As with most things, using the Lazarus pit comes at a price. Upon emergence from the pit, madness fuels the survivor. You enter dead, you come out insane. The terrible irony is that when Jason died, did you think you could take me with one punch?
In the madness of grief, this was always our problem. I actually considered you saw me as second-rate. Putting Jason in a Lazarus pit myself, not being able to be as good as the other Robin. How could you let me die? I would have done anything to save Jason's life. Come on, fight me! But I came to my senses in time. The trauma to the boy's head was so severe, even if the pit could revive him, there was no guarantee he would be capable of rational thought. You owe me that. Show me some respect, so I can win this game, Batman. You'd be amazed by the number of people who wanted to play, who were willing to risk it all for a taste of revenge. Ah! Ugh. Thank you. You just made it so much easier to kill you. It's game over. Once again, my unknown enemy refers to this as a game. Recruiting Poison Ivy, Killer Croc, Harley Quinn, the Joker, Scarecrow, and possibly Catwoman. They all have extraordinary intel on my personal life. To bring Jason into this, alive and arrogant as ever. If you are who you say you are, the unexpected joy that he could have lived to be this age, the same age as Nightwing, then you already know. Thinking what we do is a game is what got Robin killed. My opponent is counting on Jason's appearance to affect my abilities, play on whatever guilt I harbor for Jason's death. Trying to get me angry by doubting who I am, thinking that will make me sloppy. Missed. Forgot how much you taught me. His coordination, his speed, the acrobatics. It's all too familiar. You have to let him do this alone. Take your hand off of me. I don't have to do anything, particularly when it comes from you. Just listen to me, please. The entire time I've been Robin, every lesson, every move that Batman has taught me is intended to keep what happened to Jason from happening to me. No matter what he says, Jason's death still haunts him. Why else would he keep Jason's costume so prominently in the cave? Then you should know better than anyone, kid, what he's like when he's angry. Ask yourself, boy wonder, what he's going to do if he finds out that it's not Jason Todd come back to haunt him. Bottom line, Jason was never this good. I have to admit, I'm a little disappointed. I mean, I know you were distracted by getting a little action with Catwoman. Then the death of Tommy Elliott really pushed your buttons. Going after the Joker, Ra's al Ghul, everybody but the right somebody. Come on, Batman, it was right in front of you the entire time. Just like the Purloined Letter, Edgar Allan Poe's story. The very first detective story. Remember? Someone cut you a bat line. The Purloined Letter. When the answer is in plain sight. It was a batarang. I cannot always collect them at a crime scene. It was by design that I landed in Crime Alley, where we first met, where Jason was stealing. The left front tire of the Batmobile, the same one that blew out chasing Killer Croc. Putting all the clues together, Can't say I didn't give you a sporting chance. You may have a lot of facts, personal history, anecdotes. You may even have set up all those incidents to echo what happened in the past. But you are not the Robin who died. To make it perfect, for me to truly believe that this was Jason, he would have called me Bruce. Whoever orchestrated this, and I believe that person knows, withheld my secret identity. You violated a child's grave. No, I referred to Robin as the Pretender when it was you who was pretending. You had forgotten me, hoping that your appearance would make me pull my punches. I only wanted to be loved, Batman. That was the mistake you made. Even in the end, Jason knew how much I loved him.
I could never forget you. It is even possible that this imposter did not know that Jason Todd was Robin. He could have been told to put on a costume and come to this open grave, given what to say, up to a point. He never referred to himself as Jason, and I never called him that either. Clay.
When did you know?
That it wasn't Jason? I didn't at first. The clues led me to believe that a Lazarus pit had been used, and Jason could have been brought back to life. But on the ground, in the mud, Clay. It was Clayface mimicking the role.
But why make Jason older? A corpse doesn't age.
To hide the flaws. They couldn't be sure exactly how Jason's voice sounded, or how he moved and fought. He'd been dead too long. But Clayface could mimic Nightwing. That's why his acrobatics seemed so familiar.
And copying me?
Would have been just that. If the illusion was going to work, I had to be unsure. Your movements are too recent, too vibrant in my mind.
I am kind of unique, aren't I?
Your neck.
I'll need stitches, but Catwoman got the bleeding stopped. She probably saved my life, you know.
Go to the cave, have Alfred tend to your wound, then get to work on that costume. See if there's anything on it other than clay that will help us find out who is behind all this.
Huntress is gone. She took your motorcycle. I thought that sleeping juice you had me stick her with would keep her out.
She's better than you think. Better than everyone thinks, including herself.
In her ranting, it sounded like she made a deal with someone who betrayed her.
Yes, and she may have betrayed me, but we can't be certain because
I know. I didn't stay with her. I don't like taking orders from you. And I don't like being followed. If you don't trust me...
I trust you.
For what it's worth, I'm glad it wasn't Jason.
I'm not.
Oh?
Because the person or persons responsible are still out there. Coming here to Oracle's clock tower is closer than the cave. Catwoman will keep Jonathan Crane, Scarecrow, bound until the police arrive. Clayface could be anywhere, mixed with the water and the mud. The clay could travel down into the ground and reform on the other side of Gotham. I need to find Huntress.
Did my dad ever get used to your sudden appearing act?
She is riding one of the bat bikes.
Was. She ditched it about 2 blocks from where you were. She's also not wearing a communicator or any other kind of electronic device I can trace.
Let me know when you find her. She's a loose end, and whoever it is we're dealing with isn't going to let her stay out there for long.
Bruce, after your fall, when the bat line was cut, back in the Batcave, you were barely conscious, so much so you had to use Morse code. What made you think of Tommy Elliot?
Why?
I was just curious.
He was the best surgeon in the country, as good, if not better, than my father, and a childhood friend who is now dead because he came back into my life. This goes beyond curious.
You asked me to look into that electronic relay you found hidden underneath your computer in the cave. At first I thought it was a listening device, standard CIA op kind of stuff. Turns out it was made to look like that. The design work was flawless.
Any idea whose work it is?
I think I do. I think you do too, or you wouldn't have asked me. I routed the device through this computer, and look what it can do.
It takes a few nights, but Oracle manages to arrange a meeting. She has redirected the traffic. The Gotham City bridge will be closed until 6 a.m. It will not take that long for this to end. I didn't think you would come. That sort of thing requires courage. Why? Why betray me? I would have given you anything you needed. I had given you anything you needed. A home, a purpose. What 30 pieces of silver was promised to you? Harold.
Happiness.
When I first met Harold, he was all alone, friendless, homeless, but gifted when it came to the repair of machines and electronics. For a long time he worked in the cave. Access to the cars, the computers, always silent. In many ways, as alone as when I found him. You can speak. Through the years, I used all my resources to find a way to repair Harold's body. But medical science is not like crime. There is not always an answer.
This was something for me. You had given me so much. I didn't want to ask for anything more. He said he could heal me, make it so I wasn't mute, so I could stand up like a man. I thought that even if I had been tricked, you are my hero. You would always win. Forgive me.
Harold, I can forgive you. The desire to be happy can be very powerful when exploited.
He knew who you were without the mask. He knew about the cave and what my job was. All he asked was that I add the circuit relay to the computer. I built it to his specifications, but I made sure it couldn't hurt you.
Who approached you?
It was...
What is a friend? A single soul dwelling in two bodies.
They say when you kill a man, you not only take away what he was, but everything he will ever be. You've murdered him.
We should behave to our friends as we would wish our friends to behave to us.
I am not your friend. Aristotle. The killer quotes Aristotle. Harold's past has long remained a mystery. Mute, his body misshapen, he wandered through life as a victim. He had a remarkable gift. It was as if he could speak to machines, and in particular, electronics. His life needed purpose. I thought I had given him one. I thought I had given him enough.
Evils draw men together.
More Aristotle. Maxi Zeus. Which enemy do I have who quotes Aristotle? This is not the first time I have been confronted by a man whose face is hidden by bandages. Previously, that person was revealed to be Clayface, pretending to be Jason Todd, my long-dead partner. Years ago, Harold was found wandering the streets by the Penguin. Taking advantage of his loneliness, the Penguin used Harold's unique abilities to aid in criminal activity. I had hoped to have broken the pattern of Harold's trust in those who did not merit it. He was invaluable to me as a mechanic in the cave. I gave him unfettered access to the computers. But in his silence, there was a yearning to repair his body and voice. One which my true enemy took advantage of, and Harold betrayed me. It cost him his life. My world of late has been a series of distractions, ruses, and misdirection. Old villains acting in new ways, friends twisted into acting as foes. In the midst of it all, Catwoman and I have begun a relationship. Distractions. Harold's death is meant to keep me off balance. His betrayal leaves my attention unfocused. I have to shut all of that out. My enemy is a marksman. Possibly the assassin Deadshot, or trained by Deadshot. The guns are twin .45s. He's firing in pairs. 2 bullets killed Harold. The .45 holds 12 rounds, unless he has one in the chamber. His trench coat is nearly generic, presumably on purpose. I have seen others wear it. Killer Croc, Jim Gordon, Jason, even Harold. I believe Bruce Wayne owns several. When this all began, someone severed the bat line. I fell, fracturing my skull. Since then, I have been searching for that individual. Someone who has played the heroes and villains in my life like pieces on a chessboard. I have found my opponent. The game ends tonight! Now, it comes down to a man with a gun. I believe my enemy knows everything in my life can be traced back to a single moment. A man with a gun. Where did you get this? Tommy Elliott's necklace. My childhood friend. He was buried with it. Like the jade pendant, life comes back around on itself, doesn't it? His voice is too muffled to be sure of his identity. Tommy's mother gave it to him. I told you once to give it back, or I'd hurt you so bad, Bruce. He knows who I am. He tells a story only Tommy and I would know. So many deceptions. You don't get to peek behind the curtain yet. Tommy Elliott is dead. Why hide your face? Who are you? Do you think it was by coincidence that we're here, on this bridge, on a rainy night?
There's been an accident. My mom and dad, their car.
I do not know how you could have heard these stories. but Dr. Thomas Wayne did everything in his power to save the Elliots. Yes, just like you promised me he would. He lost my dad, though. Left me with my... Stick a needle, Bruce. Stick a needle. An expression that Tommy and I shared as children. Is that what all this is about? A child's broken promise? No, Bruce. I was never angry that your father let my father die on that operating table. It was that he let my mother live. What? I insisted their driver stay home that night. A rainy night. A severed brake line. I wanted my parents to die, Bruce, and your father ruined that. You have no idea how lucky you were to be an orphan. All that money became yours to spend, when I had to wait years waiting for my mother to die from cancer of all things, pretending to be the good son. Since I know you were counting, yes, I had one bullet left in the chamber. Didn't see me strap the C4 to the Batmobile while you and Harold had your short-lived reunion, did you? Now, as much as I would like to end it here, the game is not over yet. I'm taking you to Arkham, where everyone else gets the pleasure of unmasking. Put your hands in the air and get down on your knees. Now! James Gordon, the friend in need. And who's that you've got with you? Take the shot, Jim. Damn it, they're too close together. Harvey, what are you doing here? You know the agreement. Yeah, well, any good lawyer will tell you agreements were meant to be broken. No! Harvey Dent was once my friend, a headstrong district attorney whose life was shattered when acid was hurled in his face, unleashing a second personality, the murderous criminal Two-Face. Harvey's face has been repaired. His sudden appearance here is unexpected. Have I lost in Tommy a friendship, only to regain in Harvey one I'd lost? Give me the gun. You can have it. It's yours anyway. What? It's like I told you, Jimbo. Your old police weapon was used to kill Tommy Elliot. Under those bandages, I have to know. Look, I shot Elliot in that alley. It's how I knew the Joker was innocent. Night vision engaged. You shot Dr. Thomas Elliot? Yeah, well, there's not a lot of vital organs you can hit when they're made out of clay. You'll be charged for this. I'll take my chances with the courts. Do the cops really want Batman on the docket? You said you changed. What have you done? Brought you here. Betrayed the Alliance. I did what I set out to do. Saved Bats when he needed it most. Harvey. Yeah, Bats. I'm going to be driving from now on. Two-Face is gone. Who did your plastic surgery? You're kidding, right? You just saw him take a header off this bridge. Friend of Bruce Wayne's. The name. Elliot. Dr. Thomas Elliot. Did the work in Philadelphia. Thomas Elliot is dead. Dig up the grave. I'm sure you'll find the clay residue. I keep wishing this wasn't Harold, that it was Clayface again. But Harold is dead. Look at that, Jimbo. It's stopped raining. Gotham City, 2 weeks later. When you don't want to be found, you don't want to be found. That's right. Let me guess, you screwed up. You're trying to figure it all out. You're angry with me, Batman, everyone. But mostly you're mad at yourself. Go to hell. Hey, if I want abuse, I know a lot of other places I can be. Scarecrow really messed with my mind. I know the feeling. Ivy did a number on me. Can you get a hold of it? You've changed costumes through the years, even changed sides. If some of those stories are true, was it worth it? Yes, as long as you're doing it for yourself, and not for what someone else thinks of you. I heard Thomas Elliot is dead again. Heard that too. Good. bastard. The cave. I've been to Philadelphia. This was planned for more than a year, maybe 2. I keep thinking about the purloined letter, how the answer was there all along.
Bruce, sometimes detective work is like finding your eyeglasses. They're always in the last place you look, because after that, you've found them.
I have brought Clark into this. In an odd way, he can sometimes be less emotionally involved than I can. Do you know that Dr. Elliot...
Tommy?
Dr. Elliot used his skills as a surgeon to actually help Harold, Harvey Dent. How could I have not known what was going on around me?
These were their decisions. Given how he presented himself, what would you have done?
He approached Huntress, offered her the money to refine her equipment, said he was a concerned citizen and wanted to improve her crime-fighting abilities. She had him checked out. He was clean. I even thought he was clean. Do you know how he got to me? Watch. Subliminals. Every time I used the computer, Harold's hidden relay would randomly flash his image. When I fell, when I needed a surgeon, I only thought of Dr. Thomas Elliot.
Bruce, what can I do to help? I searched the harbor. With the storm, his body was probably dragged out to sea.
I keep thinking how he found me in Metropolis and other places. I know I was being watched. I know he did something when he operated on me. I need you to use your X-ray and microscopic vision on my head.
There is something at the base of your skull. So tiny.
A homing device.
Possibly.
Burn it. I could hurt. Do it.
Bruce, you can't blame yourself.
I have work to do.
Then I'll stay and...
No. You've done enough. But, Clark, Thank you. Elliot couldn't have done this alone. He needed contacts, someone they all would trust. Arkham Asylum. This will not be recorded. No one is listening in. I think you know why. I honestly didn't think you were capable of it. Criminal mastermind and you don't come together immediately.
That was sort of the point, wasn't it?
Was it?
You still don't have all the pieces. That's why you're here. This is fun.
Presumably, it all began with Killer Croc kidnapping the boy. You didn't need the ransom, did you? Elliot's wealth financed all of it.
Essentially, but you can never really have enough money, right? You'd know better than anyone.
Where did you get the kryptonite for Ivy's lipstick?
Where did you get it for that ring? You have enemies in very high places, but you didn't hear that from me.
So, you promised Croc you could surgically cure his mutation for a price.
You have to remember that we're not dealing with a brain trust there. Croc never quite understood that we infected him with a virus. He was desperate for a cure, and we'd have provided it during surgery. The antidote isn't hard to figure out. I imagine wherever the feds have him, he's been restored.
Scarecrow did the evaluations.
Everybody wants something.
Poison Ivy.
Money. And she's got a thing about Catwoman.
Harley Quinn.
Love. Getting to work with the Joker.
The Joker. He couldn't have been easy.
At first, when he heard the Jason Todd gag, he couldn't resist.
Clayface.
Money. Another moron. Why do I have the sense you know all this already?
You angered Raish. He wasn't really playing. He got involved because you had used one of the Lazarus pits, and he wanted me to find out who it was. It's why you left the ash in the back of the armored truck. You hoped I would remove Raish from the game.
How do you know it was me?
Elliot's medical records are in storage in Philadelphia. You didn't use your real name, but Arthur Wynne, the man who invented the crossword puzzle. That was the missing piece. Riddler.
Arthur Wynne. I always loved the name. Wynne as in win.
What was it? Brain tumor?
Great riddle. How do you cheat death? The Lazarus pit.
You were diagnosed as terminal. When you came out of the pit, you must have been quite mad.
Not mad. Angry. I used to be a somebody in this town. Now everybody has a gimmick. I was going to show them all. And I did.
Dr. Elliot must have been quite impressed by your miraculous recovery.
Cancer, it brings people together in a way. Well, you don't have it, so you wouldn't understand.
But Elliot's mother died from it.
I thought he'd pay a fortune for the cure. Turns out he wanted something more. He knew I was from Gotham City, and my oh my, did he have a mad-on for Bruce Wayne.
So, you came up with the bandaged man and the trench coat.
Hush, hush. It started as a joke, you know. We had to keep it a secret. Then Scarecrow starts singing the song, Hush, Little Baby. It's about a kid who can't be satisfied. And it stuck.
But in order to make it all work, you had to solve the riddle.
Yes, the Lazarus Pit gives you a unique kind of clarity. Riddle me this. Who is that under Batman's mask? And now the world is my oyster. Right, Bruce?
What time is it when an elephant sits on a fence?
What?
What time is it when an elephant sits on a fence?
Time to get a new fence. Everyone knows that one. It's worthless.
That's why I have nothing to fear from you. You had to tell Elliot, but no one else. Not even Clayface when he was playing Robin. I know you, Edward Nygma. Maybe better than you know yourself. Riddles are your compulsion, your addiction, and a riddle that everyone knows the answer to is worthless. In case you ever again do decide to trade on my identity, keep in mind, Ra's al Ghul is still looking for who used his pit. Question: how would you fare against the entire League of Assassins? You have enemies in very high places, Edward. Get out. One last thing. Why Jason? Why bring the boy into it?
Question: how many times have you beaten me? Answers: 5, 10, 100. But, question: what is Batman's greatest defeat? Answer: the death of Robin. Didn't like having your nose rubbed in it, did you?
His grave is empty. Where is Jason's body now?
That is a riddle, isn't it? What happened?
He fell.
Need any help?
No, we're done. I buried Harold on a hillside overlooking Wayne Manor. His home was here. I want him to be safe. It took some doing, but I finally found his last name for the marker. I have been to too many funerals.
So, the Riddler?
One question remains. Selina and I both know it. They wanted to take my life apart, and they would have, but they never expected that when Two-Face was surgically erased, Harvey Dent would emerge as a force for good.
Double-crossed by Two-Face. What is the world coming to?
Selina,
that was a joke, Bruce.
I am not very good at this. Having friends, partners, it all ends in betrayal and death. If I ever could do it, then I lost it the night my parents were murdered.
Tell that to Nightwing, Robin, Oracle. Do I need to go on?
We both know what Scarecrow said about something else affecting my mind.
Yes, and that could have been a bluff, or those subliminals you told me about.
Or we both could be under Ivy's spell.
Hush.
Why would you say that?
Ow, you're hurting me. What the hell is wrong with you, Bruce?
Was she part of this? Can I take that chance?
Bruce. Oh, so it's over. If you want me to say I love you, listen, I don't need to know if this started out as a spell. Forget about being a detective for once. We are who we are. That's why this works. Maybe someday you'll come to trust that. Until then.
Someday.